Welcome, everybody. We're going to call this meeting to order. This is the regular business meeting of the Mason County Commission for January 30th, 2024. We will go ahead and we will begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. Dave, would you do us the honor of leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Commissioner District 1, Randy Netherland.
I'm here.
Commissioner District 2, Kevin Schutte.
Here.
Commissioner District 3, Sharon Trask.
I'm here.
Excellent. Next up is item number 4, which is correspondence. Do we have any correspondence to come before the commission?
We do. The Federal Energy Regulatory Commission sent in dam safety surveillance and monitoring plans and reports, revision plans and schedules for Tacoma's Power's portfolio of projects for Cushman, Nisqually River, Cowlitz River, and Wainuchi projects. The Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board sent in cannabis and liquor license renewal applications, and Jen Steeder-Stalmer sent in an application for the Solid Waste Advisory Committee.
Excellent, thank you. Any other correspondence or organizational business to come before us?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, then we will move forward to item number 5, which is our open forum for citizen input. This is your opportunity to come and speak to the commission and the community on any item that is not on the agenda. If it's on the agenda, we ask that you wait, and you'll be given an opportunity to speak at that time when the item does come up. With that, I'm going to go ahead and start inside the room first. I want to remind you it's a 3-minute maximum, and be brief if you can, because apparently we have others that like to speak. So with that, would you please come forward to the podium and announce your name and tell us perhaps where you're from?
Okie dokie. Hey, my name's Bernie Games. I'm your most favorite park host with Truman Park. But I also represent, I'm the secretary of the Grange out at Matlock. And I'm here for that. So on my off time, I get to do all their paperwork. So I practice and practice to make this 3 minutes. Each of you have a more detailed one than my syllabus thing here. So I'm going to start off. We, in our community of Grange, had an increase of 25 people, which is considerable for our area because we normally only get 2 or 3 a year. We lost a lot of members through attrition. So we want to make sure our Grange is functional and has stability for our community, and our charter under the 501c allows us to do multiple fundraisers, rummage sales, we do a traditional hunter's breakfast, we do lots of Thanksgiving giveaways. I'm reading off this, I'm sorry, my eye contact is lousy. Let me look at it.
You're doing awesome.
Take a look at Mark over here. And so we do raffles and donations, holiday bazaars, Christmas breakfasts. We also instituted for the first time for a long time, we get 53 farmers market a year. So we started off last year short through July through October, and we had approximately 14 of those. And now we're starting off this year, starting April 7th, and it's going to continue through October, November, weather permitting. As you know, it's nasty. Anyway, we also have hall rentals. We do a lot of community service meetings under our 501c, which allows us to do things like veterans memorial services and other community action meetings that revolve around central issues that are in the area. We try to keep it at a minimum because we are a fraternal order, and there's certain things we can't allow to have in the Grange, but that's one of them that we can. We're also going after a capital grants improvement for water, paving, and windows. I don't know, somebody threw a window through a rock 40 years ago, and they boarded up all the windows and took all the windows out, and now we have nothing. It's down to, and we found out we have no insulation in the walls. So, but the most important thing lately is the water. We have a slight hiccup with the health department saying that our water wasn't safe to serve to the public, but oddly it was safe to serve to our Grange members. So with that, the water is going to cost us $30,000. we're going to be aggressive. We're going after an A designated well so that we can turn our kitchen into a commissary kitchen. So with that in mind, we hope to get that 90,000 from the legislators, pull it out of their pockets, give it to us. And so, okay, now back to being nice and happy. We're partnering with the PTO, we have been since October last year, and we're also in league with the Old Timers Fair currently. And that's gonna be on May 4th and 5th of this year. And they're seeking volunteers, anybody that can help out, they're looking for your help and input. We're also in the weekly journal. You'll see us, third page from the last, under interest, and it'll say what's happening this week, and it'll feature Miriam Knight stuff, PTO, and our one featured Grange member in their business, because we are an agricultural-based commerce fraternal order, meaning we are out there to support the needs of anything that revolves around agriculture. So that might even mean crafts, but anyway, nonetheless. We're also booting a junior Grange program, and that's gonna be showing people kids how to run a meeting, how to sew, how to can, how to cook. So we're doing one day, okay, fast. Okay,
That was your time.
Oh!
It's okay, go ahead and close, it's all right.
Okay, can I do real quick?
Yep, do a close.
AA every Thursday, 7 p.m. Women's Power Group, you have a copy of it in your hand. Every Friday, 5 p.m. Timberland Books is going to be the second Tuesday and the fourth Tuesday of every month. Hall improvements, we've had several. Matlock Grange representation at Grace Harbor and the Puyallup Fair. And the Matlock Farmers Market is going to be published in a book that's in your hand. New copies come out in March. And my last closing is, has anybody ever asked you to be a member of the Grange? Please come see me. I have ample applications, and I'll show you everything that is in our fraternal order. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Bernie. Okay, is there anybody in the building that would like to speak to the commission on any item that is not on the agenda? Please make yourself be known. Hearing none, I'm gonna go ahead and go to Zoom land. I see Ken Van Buskirk's hand up. Ken, would you mind go ahead and unmuting? Let us know who you are and where you're from, please.
Yeah, good morning, Commissioners. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Thank you. Ken Van Buskirk, I'm from Belfair. As you are aware, there was a mass mailer sent out last week or weekend regarding the supplemental environmental impact statement for the freight corridor. And I've looked at most of it. There's a lot to absorb there. And I appreciate all the work that went into it. Part of the transportation study area included the unsignalized four-way intersection at the old Belfair Highway. Locally, most of us call that the Belfair IQ test. 5 years ago, in 2019, when they did the study, it was found to be operating at a failing condition, level of service E and F during the AM, PM peak periods respectively. That was 5 years ago. While the freight corridor will relieve the regional traffic, this particular intersection will remain a bottleneck. And I respectfully ask that it should be addressed in a comp plan update. And the county, if they could work with WashDOT as soon as possible to upgrade that intersection. Also at the community meeting with our state representatives last fall regarding the freight corridor, unfortunately, I didn't see any of the county commission there, but hopefully you've been able to watch it. And towards the end of the meeting, it was brought up that WashDOT plans to replace several fish-bearing culverts in 2026 on SR3 downtown. One of the culverts is Sweetwater Creek, which I'm sure you remember, Commissioner Netherland. I know I sure do. We were both involved with that. I would kindly request that you ask our state representatives and WashDOT to delay those culvert replacements until the freight corridor is complete. I think it will help all around. So, thank you, folks.
Thank you, Ken. Is there anybody else out in Zoom land that would like to address the commission on any item that is not on the agenda? If so, please unmute yourself and say your name so we can acknowledge you. Anybody in Zoom? Hearing none, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next item on our agenda, which is item number 6, the adoption of today's agenda.
Mr. Chair, I move adoption of today's agenda as presented.
I'll second.
It has been moved and seconded for the adoption of today's agenda as presented. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The agenda is adopted. We have no minutes for this meeting to approve, so we're going to go ahead and move on to item number 8. Item number 8 is the approval of the action agenda. All items listed on the action agenda will be voted on with one vote. If there's an item on there that you would like to have a discussion about, or perhaps have separated for a separate vote to see how we vote, this will be your opportunity to do it. So we will go ahead and read everything into the record first. And after that point, we'll ask you if there's any questions that would help you to decide to take it off or not. And if you just want to have it taken off, please acknowledge at that time. With that being said, I will read item number 8.1 through 8.7. Commissioner Trask, if you wouldn't mind reading 8.8 through 8.14, and Commissioner Schutte, 8.15 through 8.21. Item number 8.1, approval of the warrants and treasurer's electronic remittances, claims clearing fund. Warrants number 8102242 through 8102574, the amount $1,729,302,302.27. Claims clearing fund, warrants number, okay, just that one. Direct deposit fund, warrants number 103338 through 103738. The amount, $945,043.10. Salary clearing fund, warrants number 7007889 through 7007916. The amount, $635,868.85. Item number 8.2, approval of the resolution establishing the Mason County Electronic Funds Transfer, EFT policy, as recommended by the Mason County Audit Committee. Item number 8.3, approval of the acknowledgement of receipt for the 2023 property tax refunds. Item number 8.4, approval of the resolution canceling uncollected personal property taxes as listed in attachment A. Item number 8.5, approval to set a public hearing for Tuesday, February 27, 2024 at 9:15 a.m. to consider updating a Mason County Code Chapter 3.17 gambling tax and to consider lowering the gambling tax from 5 to 3%. Item number 8.6, approval to increase the misdemeanor attorney hourly rate from $75 an hour to $100 an hour. Item number 8.7, approval for the coroner to purchase 2 4-person racks for the Shelton location.
Item 8.8, approval for the chair to sign the Growth Management Act Periodic Update Grant Contract with the Department of Commerce for the maximum amount of $350,000. Item 8.9, approval for the chair to sign the 2023 through 2025 Climate Planning Grant Contract with the Department of Commerce for the amount of $125,000. Item 8.10, approval for the ordinance adopting the planned unit development increased density for the station at Shelton Springs from 14 units per acre to 25 units per acre. Item 8.11, approval of the grant request for $20,006 from the Shelton Family YMCA to implement the activity Changing Together the ACT program in Mason County. Item 8.12, approval of the Department of Commerce Consolidated Homeless Grant Contract Amendment Reallocation Funding to the Shelton Family Center in the amount of $15,623.59 and Crossroads Housing in the amount of $31,720.61. Item 8.13, approval for the chair to sign the interlocal agreements between Public Works and Mason County Fire Protection District 3, Mason County Fire Protection District 4, North Mason Regional Fire Authority, and Mason County Fire District 17 for reimbursable work, supplies, and services. Item 8.14, approval for the resolution revising the non-represented salary scale to include the grant writer and temporary therapeutic court caseworker positions.
Item 8.15, approval to appoint Sheriff Ryan Sperling and Richard Lee to the Mason Transit Authority Board to fill unexpired terms ending February 1st, 2026. Item 8.16, approval to increase the hourly indigent defense investigator rate to $75 an hour. Item 8.17, approval to increase the hourly Superior Court indigent defense rate to $125 an hour. Item 8.18, approval of the professional services contracts with Tashner Law Office, PLLC, to serve as contracted public defense attorney for District Court and Superior Court. Item 8.19, approval for Public Works to procure 2 Ford F-150 pickup trucks, 1 Ford F-550 gas pickup truck with a plow and sander, and 1 Ford F-550 diesel pickup truck with a plow and sander for the estimated cost of $392,265.94. Item 8.20, approval of the memorandum of understanding between Mason County Community Family Health and Teamsters Union Local Number 252 to update Section 12.3 regarding lead worker pay language. And item 8.21, approval to convert a human resources analyst position to an administrative assistant 2 position at range 16 on the non-represented salary scale.
So now that these items have been read to you and put into the record, this will be your opportunity to ask a question first to help you decide on whether or not something should be taken off for a separate vote. With that being said, is there anybody in the room that would like to ask a question regarding any of the issues to help them make that decision? Hearing none, is there anybody in Zoom that would like to ask a question to help them make a decision on whether to have something removed? Okay, is there anybody in the room that would like an item removed, commissioners? Commissioners? No? Anybody in the public? Yes.
Item 8.9, the climate grant authorization.
Item 8.9. Is there anybody else that would like an item removed for a separate vote and discussion? Anybody in Zoom that would like any item removed for a separate vote or discussion, please unmute and acknowledge who you are. Hearing none, I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the action agenda items 8.1 through 8.21 with the exception of 8.19, or 8.9.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded for the approval of the action agenda as presented, item 8.1 through 8.21 with the removal of item 8.9, which will be discussed and handled under a separate item. With that being said, is there any discussion or comments?
Poor Mike Collins thought he wasn't getting his pickup trucks.
You think that's extra funny? Check it. No. Any comments? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. That brings us to item number 8.9, approval for the chair to sign the 2023 through 2025 climate planning grant contract with the Department of Commerce for the amount of $125,000. Would you like to?
Good morning, Commissioners. Marissa Watson, staff. I put that item on the agenda for you guys to authorize the signature. We simply don't have final financial authorization from the Department of Commerce, so I'm just delaying that authorization request from you.
And we also would like to see what
Yes.
that looks like. So with that, I'm going to call for a motion. There's no need for a motion, and it could die for lack of a motion. With that, is there a motion to approve item 8.9, approval of the chair to sign the 2023 to 2025 climate planning grant contract with the Department of Commerce for the amount of $125,000? Is there any motion? Hearing no motion, it dies for lack of a motion, and it can come back again anytime that way. All right, that brings us to item 9, which is our other business, department heads or elected officials. Are there any department heads or elected officials who would like to speak to the commission and the community at this time? Please acknowledge yourself and I'll call on you. Hearing none, I'm going to go ahead and move forward then. There are no public hearings today, so that brings us to our board reports and calendar. Commissioner Trask, if you wouldn't mind starting us out, Commissioner Schutte, and then I will follow behind.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Tomorrow, I have a meeting with some folks from Green Diamond. And then we have the Wasac Board of Directors meeting in Olympia, the Wasac Legislative Reception. LSC meeting, Pack Mountain meeting, Public Works Board meeting. Then we have the open house at North Mason for the sheriff's office. A meeting with a constituent. Have our briefing, Wasac Virtual Assembly. Get to take my kitten to the vet. On Tuesday, we have the Board of County Commissioners Short-Term Rental Workshop. EDC Legislative Steering Committee meeting, coffee with a constituent, AAA Area Agency on Aging Advisory Council meeting, Women's Republican meeting, EDC meeting, Public Works Executive Committee meeting, Pack Mountain Finance meeting, Wasac Virtual Session Update. Also on Saturday, the 10th, is the Mason County Caucus. Then we're back for briefings and virtual assemblies, and then a commission meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Wrapping up our meeting, looks like I'll be able to make a 9 o'clock meeting that I had with our sheriff and police chief and telecare. And then have an exit conference for the Thurston Mason Behavioral Health Administrative Service Organization with the audit, state auditor's office. And then I have a meeting with Mark and HR, talk about some issues this afternoon. Tomorrow I'm gonna be out hitting the road with Public Works, take a look at Bierbauer Road. We had some folks here a couple weeks ago. Tomorrow's the first day that we're able to make schedules work, and so I'm gonna be spending some time out in the west part of the county. And then I'll be attending the State Association of Counties legislative reception on Wednesday evening. Also speaking to Sheriff Sperling's Citizens Advisory Breakfast at Spencer Lake on Thursday. Then I will be up for the open house at the North Precinct on Friday as well. I'm gonna head to next week, briefings, Wasac Virtual Assembly, and then also at the short-term rentals briefing. Very excited about that. I think it's gonna be really helpful to get some of the results of the surveys that we've done over the fall and just learn a little bit more about what options are available to us. So really looking forward to that allegedly 3-hour workshop. Very excited. And then we do have a MACECOM supervisors meeting and then another meeting with the BHASO to talk about succession planning and some staffing opportunities there. Ecosystem Coordination Board all-day meeting on the 8th. Legislative updates with WASAC on the 9th, and then back for briefings, my bi-weekly check-in with the BHASO staff and the Mason Crisis Services System of Care Work Group ahead of our meeting on the 13th.
Excellent. I'll be meeting with our Public Works. I've been meeting with a group for low-income housing and looking for all of Mason County, but was looking specifically this next meeting at some in North Mason. Peninsula Regional Transportation Organization, Rotary meetings, grand opening for our Sheriff's Department, as you heard, in Belfair. I'll be attending different Port Allen meetings and functions to continue with them and trying to help them to get through the issues that they have. I had something for elected officials. Again, I think that's an old thing on my calendar. If we could help to get that removed, because it never seems to be happening.
What day is that, Randy?
I'll get it to you after this. But we probably need to have one soon. I know that you had requested it, so I'd like to go ahead and request it as well. And if you don't mind, for the near future, left board meeting, law enforcement firefighters, short-term rental workshop, as was mentioned by the other commissioners, virtual. The WASAC virtual meetings brings us back again, and we're doing this all over again. With that being said, is there anything further?
Move we adjourn.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded, we adjourn. Here, no objection, we are adjourned.